All right. Why is that doing that now? I
I
gotta fix
don't
that.
know. I'm like going, well,
It did it on the
hello.
last two, and I gotta see why it's doing that. I gotta fix that. Hey, Mousy. Hey,
Hey.
Nikki. Hey, Miss Cassandra. Hey, always
Hey,
grateful.
shenanigans.
Hey.
Hey,
Uh,
Claire, Nikki.
hey,
Hey,
Steven.
Steven.
Yay.
Good to see you.
Oh,
Got
hi, buddy.
Nikki, April, Cool Gamer, Mousy. Good to see you all. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you, especially for coming on a not fun and games night, on a serious night. We appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yes, it's a serious one tonight.
Yeah.
How's everyone?
Yeah.
Friday Eve.
That,
I'm
that,
good.
Yeah, Friday
I
Eve.
if you hey, just saying, if you say it's a Friday Eve, I'll believe you. But I'm telling you, all day I was like, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I don't have to do anything. It's
I was
Wednesday.
thinking it was Friday
That's
all
how
day
all week I
today.
thought it was. I was a day after.
It's like, all right, it's Friday.
Monday I thought it was
No, it's
Tuesday.
not.
Tuesday I thought it was Wednesday, and
Yeah, this
we
week
got,
has
almost.
just been.
hey, fish nerd. You just
Where's Fish
sneaking in
Nerd?
there.
Where
You
is
just
he?
sneaking in there. Just
Where?
saying.
Oh, there he is. Hi, Fish Nerd.
Told you he's sneaking in there.
Yeah, he did sneak in there. And just by the way, this is
Oh
not
my.
just a girly thing. Tuesday, oh, that is really messed up. I mean, not messed up, but like you lost a lot of
Yeah,
days.
I don't want to go
Hey,
back to
Juju.
Tuesday. Hey, Juju. Tuesday was technically my Monday because I
I
took
don't want
Monday
to
Did you?
to be Tuesday.
I took every day off.
Yeah, I took Monday off, so Tuesday was my like first day back, and it was not a good day, even though it was October 3rd.
Why would October 3rd be a normally good day?
Because it's October 3rd.
Yeah.
And
Mean Girls.
Mean
oh,
girl.
I prefer not to give. I'm up to my eyeballs with Mean Girls. Hey,
Those are
sarcasm for
close.
fun. The sarcasm for fun. I recognize you as one of our newest subs, so thank you for being here. We
Yeah,
appreciate you.
welcome.
Yeah, you're from Long Island. Awesome. I have family who lives out on Long Island. Don't ask me where because I have no idea. Oh yes, I could get the Christmas card, but still needs to be put away.
Let me go get the Christmas card.
No, it's right here.
You might as well just leave it out. It's
I know.
October.
Yeah, no. It's like I've already added it to my Christmas list address, which I started a. I know I'm a geek. I started a Google sheet for Christmas list address so I can make it
Oh
easy.
no.
What makes it easier?
Yeah. No, I mean, I was watching because it's October now, and like there's this guy that he's like, y'all need to know something. Put them dang trees away. Leave them Christmas trees put away. Don't bring them Christmas trees out.
Yeah. You're glitching,
Yeah.
Carly? You don't look like you're
Oh
glitching from this
no.
end. Say something. Oh, she's
Oh,
muted.
you're muted. Maybe you're muted. I wonder if something's happening. Oh, I'm muted and then unmuted. Kind of just waiting for everyone to come in. Oh,
Okay,
you're
Carly,
unmuted.
say something. You're quiet, but I hear you.
Yeah.
It muted my mic and said I was connected.
Yeah, you can hear you.
We normally get that message saying you're not connected, and I don't have that message saying you aren't.
Okay, because it said your mic is.
Did you try unplugging it and plugging in?
I did, Nikki. Sorry.
Okay.
See, now you sound fine.
Hopefully,
I feel bad because Mean Girls is.
You sound fine to me now,
it.
Carly. Yeah.
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Kind of just letting everybody roll in, kind of easing it up a
No.
bit before we get serious.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, I
Um,
have, like, I don't always necessarily pay attention to the fine details on movies like that. So,
Well, it's because it's like a whole big thing. Like, he asked me what day it was. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
kind of like
an
oh,
on every
Yeah.
October 3rd. It's a thing. It's Mean Girls Day, is what it's called.
oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
So
I can't believe
that's
we
why I was
made a coffee
spamming
creamer.
Mean Girls.
They, I
But
just, and it tastes like frosting. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, it's a
yeah, I
pink
saw that. I was like,
frosting.
I thought I already had put that. I was gonna put that, but then you put it, Carly. I was like, oh wait, I thought I was gonna put that, but you beat me to it, and I already forgot about it. Got sidetracked. I was like, no, thank you. I'll
And
stick
watch, it's probably
to
amazing,
what? Yeah, serious.
but I don't really feel like trying it. I'd rather just have a cupcake.
There
Oh,
are,
thank you.
there are
Sorry.
meaner. You're not mean, Nikki. There are meaner
Sarcasm
girls.
for fun says she loves this channel, especially the. I shouldn't say. I should say they because I shouldn't assume you're because I said she. Sorry about that. Uh, they've got the games and it looks super fun. Yeah, we do. We do quite a bit of games because it's the first week of October. We're just kicking it off with breast cancer awareness.
Yeah. And then,
But usually we're more of like a laid back and all that. But you know, we got to bring awareness to something that's
yeah, the
very
next
important.
game night, like actual games, is going to be the 19th of October.
And that is also our 1 year anniversary on
Yeah.
YouTube. So we figured we
Aw.
might as well celebrate that.
Yeah.
With some fun. And since
Yeah.
Carly's not going to be here next week, we will miss her dearly.
We will miss
What are
her
we gonna do?
dearly. We're doing Am I the Asshole?
Yeah. Well, Carly and I did it because I think you were having technical issues, so you weren't. And so Carly
When
and I
was
did it
that?
like a month ago. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Was
like
that
2 months.
Dormy night? I don't remember.
I think so.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
They were saying that it was supposed to storm all day and tonight too, but it petered out around 9 o'clock, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, now we're done." Like, all right, good. Yeah. Yes, there's
Yes, thank you.
several people in our community who are fighting. Who are no, I'm not going to say fighting. Who are victors in the game of cancer. So it is, and I, as soon as I hit live, I almost started crying, thinking about the story that I'm going to tell.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, cancer is, it doesn't play favorites, and it sucks. It sure does, Stephen. Stephen knows as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to call out names without your permission. Well, except Stephen just kind of did with Stephen, but you're welcome to call yourself out. I don't want to put. Yeah, that's one of the things we're going to talk about, Mousy, is that it's not just an old lady disease, which some people kind of think of breast cancer as the cancer for older women, and that's just not true.
And it's also not just for women.
No.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. I meant to mention that when Fish Nerd came in, that it's not, this is not just a conversation for women.
No.
Yeah. So.
That's right. You were talking about that, Mousy. I remember. That's so young.
Kidney cancer. Okay. I knew you had some kind of cancer, Claire, but I didn't know what kind. So yeah, I like to think of people as, not fighting cancer, although it's a fight, but I like to think of you guys as survivors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than
have known, have some victory people in my family that have had it. I know.
Oh my goodness.
I've had my Nana's sister, a really good sister that she was really close with, died of breast cancer. And then I had like a childhood friend. Her mom she was like a really sweet lady, and she ended up dying from it too. She wasn't that old either. She was probably in her 40s. I feel like that's not old to me because like people think it's like people in their like 60s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah. And I see
Lung
April and
cancer.
Claire talking about April's mom died of brain cancer, and
Mhm.
Claire's had family members who died of lung cancer. And just, I'm sure that Kim's going to bring this up in her when she talks about her kind of the medical aspect. But breast cancer, when it metastasizes, those are two of the places that it likes to go to, just because that's where it's closest to. So it's a nasty little disease. Not that all cancers aren't, but
Exactly, Nikki.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sarcasm.
Mm.
I'm just gonna call you for fun because I feel like if I say something,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like I
No,
feel
when
bad.
I saw, I remember because it doesn't tell you everybody who subs to your channel. It does everyone. I guess there's a way that you can have your name hidden, but so it doesn't show you everybody's name. But that name came up, and I was laughing at the name because I'm like, I know so many people who like to be sarcastic for fun.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh
Wow.
boy, that's tough, Claire.
Gosh.
Yeah, it does. It sure does. Well, do we want to get started, or should you want to wait a little bit longer?
I think we're good to get started. We're about 20 minutes in, close to it.
All right. All right. Well, I'll ask again. Who wants to? How do we want to arrange this? Who wants to go first? I don't mind telling my story. Not my story, but the story I want to share first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got Kim is muted right now. So
I'm here.
there you go.
Oh, there you are.
I forgot I was muted.
I'm gonna have to start doing the mute thing for you. So I don't know. Yeah, if you wanna tell the story that you wanna tell first, Grace, you can, and then maybe then we can get into the medical after that.
Okay. You need to be quiet. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the person that there's two people. One of them had a great outcome. The other one not so much. And both of them were very young. So this kind of focuses on, in the end, I'll give you some statistics, but it focuses on what we mentioned a little bit earlier. That is that breast cancer is not strictly a disease of older women. It's not the disease of your grandmothers and great grandmothers. I will drop this one on you. Each year, approximately 70,000 men and women aged 15 to 39 are diagnosed with breast cancer in the US. And it's almost, breast cancer is also the most common cancer for women in this age group. So it's, like I said, it's messing around with our age. And so the other thing that will be a recurring theme as you hear me tell this story is what I want people to be hearing is we need to be our best advocates. And that goes, and I'm sure Mousy can attest to this in a lot of ways, but not just in the realm of cancer, but in the realm of everything medical. We need to be our own best self advocates for our medical care. But I would say, especially when it comes to cancer, because that's real important to get things going early. So the first person that I'll tell you about is my friend Carrie. And she was 26 when she found a lump, and she went to her doctor. She found, I should say also that she found the lump during her monthly screening. Oh, shoot, I didn't move that. Oh, yes, I did. I put it in the Discord. I should have shown that to Kim before we play. We might play that at the end. Okay. She went to her doctor, and her doctor was not dismissive of her. He didn't argue with her. They sent her right off to the mammogram, and she had dense breasts, so they sent her off to an ultrasound because they weren't sure what they were seeing was positive that it was cancer. And after the ultrasound, they sent her right off to a biopsy, and it came back positive for cancer. And I think she somewhere, her 27th birthday happened somewhere in the middle of all of this, because she was diagnosed when she was 27. So she went in for a lumpectomy, and then after that was done, she had radiation, and she was cancer-free. That, I believe, is the result of her diligence in monthly self-checking and getting to the doctor early, and her doctor listening to her and going straight to, what they had to do, mammogram. And then if it wasn't clear enough on there, they went to the ultrasound, and then from there, they did what they needed to do quickly. She is now living cancer-free for, gosh, we're going on 30 years now. So that's Carrie. She's had a great outcome to her story.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's me. Yeah. My friend Ellison didn't have such a great result. Ellison, I met at the place that I used to work back in California. There were, before we met Ellison, there were two of us. My best friend out in California, she's just my best friend. We kind of connected with each other at work because somehow we found out that we had the same birthday, just 1 year apart. And then this other girl comes on to work, and somehow we found out that she had our same birthday. So it was the three of us that just connected over, we had the same birthday. But then we started hanging out, and we just became friends, and, we would go dancing together. We would go hang out at country bars and go to Applebee's and all that. No, we didn't go to Applebee's. We actually went to Denny's, because you go to Denny's after drinking all night. That's where you go. Anyway.
Yeah, because it's the only place open. But anyway.
It's the only place open, and runny eggs is what you need. Anyway. So Ellison, she was always the life of the party. She was beautiful. She was just fun. She had two boys, two young boys. Well, they weren't super young. At the time she was diagnosed, one was 9 and one was 11. And she got pregnant, which was kind of she wasn't in a committed relationship. She wasn't married. She wasn't planning on getting pregnant, but she got pregnant. Now, one thing I should also point out, Ellison was well endowed. So Ellison also did monthly self-checks. So during her pregnancy, she's doing the self-checks and she feels a lump. And she goes to her doctor. And her doctor says, it's probably just hormones, don't worry about it. And Ellison didn't advocate for herself. She just took his word and went home, didn't say anything to anybody, and that was pretty much that. Except as the pregnancy progressed and these hormones are floating around her body, the lump kept getting bigger. So she goes, and as the months go on, the baby's growing, the lump is growing. She has the baby, and she starts breastfeeding, and her breast gets, her breasts are getting bigger due to the breastfeeding. She keeps mentioning every once in a while the lump to the doctor, and he's like, I'm telling you, it's probably just hormones. This is something I see all the time. She's like, okay, we shouldn't at least get it looked at. And he's like, no, you can't get any testing right now anyway. That's not true, by the way. If you ever find yourself in this position, you can get mammograms and ultrasounds if you're pregnant, and they need to rule this out. They have determined that it doesn't cause any harm to the baby or the mother to get a mammogram if there's a lump, or they need to rule it out. So she continues doing her self-checks. She continues to feel the lump. She stops breastfeeding, and when that happens and her breasts go down to the regular size, the lump is now visible. So I heard that, whoever gasped. So she goes to the doctor, and she says, this lump is now, here's the lump. And the doctor's like, oh, well, let's go ahead and send you for the mammogram. And I don't know if I mentioned she was 37 when she got pregnant and all this started. So they send her to the mammogram, and they're like, holy hell, go to the oncologist. The oncologist gets her in for a biopsy. I don't remember how many nodes were positive, but it was a lot. Because that cancer had all this time to sit and be unchecked while she was pregnant and while she was breastfeeding. Ellison ended up with metastasis to her lungs, to her spine, and to her brain. She hung in there and fought this so bravely for about 3.5 years before she succumbed. And if she only knew that she could have pushed that doctor a little bit harder, we might have her here with us now. Or even change doctors. But my takeaway for Ellison, telling Ellison's story, is that we are our own, need to be our own advocates, our own loudest advocates when it feels like somebody isn't listening. Because doctors know bodies, but you know your body better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as just some statistics, though I won't give you too many because I'm sure AC is going to go into greater detail, but every year more than 1,000 women under the age of 40 die from breast cancer. And nearly 80% of young women diagnosed with breast cancer find their breast abnormality themselves doing their monthly checks. Breast cancer is the most common form of cancer in women who are pregnant or who recently gave birth. It occurs once in every 3,000 pregnancies, and an estimated 30% or more of all breast cancer in young women is diagnosed in the few years after a woman has had a baby. And compared to older women, young women generally face more aggressive cancers and low survival rates. More and more evidence tells us that breast cancer before age 40 differs biologically from cancer faced by older women. The incidence of metastatic breast cancer at the time of initial diagnosis is apparently rising in women under the age of 40. And there was one other thing I wanted to tell you, and I can't find it now. But basically the statistic, and I can't find the specific of it, but it basically is saying that all of this is even worse for African American young women. And if you will indulge me for one moment, just if this gets you to do your checks, then I'm happy. Okay, so let's go on to the share. Pardon me that I didn't show you this first, AC, but hopefully, we can't do it because I'm on Firefox, and Firefox won't play sound. Okay, we'll do it later. I'll show you guys later. All right. Well, that is what I had to share. So thank you, and I didn't cry. So there you go.
I did.
I know.
Oh,
Now I'm all teary.
Yeah, me too. I was like, it was just so sad because she just had a baby too.
yeah.
Are you still in contact like with her kids, or were you ever in contact with them, or no?
I don't know if the grandmother. See, by now her oldest son is probably close to 30.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking 20, like, but
No. I've been in Texas 16 years.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting.
Yeah. Cass, could you turn your volume up, please, a little bit?
Oh, my volume? That's
Yeah.
probably because my ear. I wasn't by my mic.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
see.
And so her younger son would just be a little bit behind, like a couple of years behind that, and her daughter is probably close to 20 now. She, her mom took daughter. Her mom moved in with them when she was sick to help, take care of the baby, basically, when Ellison basically, the days that she just couldn't. And she took the daughter after Ellison passed. So am I passing? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just like, wasn't sure if you were done talking.
Yes. Yeah. I was going to pass to Kim, I think.
Okay. I kind of have a lot of numbers, but I have a similar story to Grace. I worked with a young woman who was 25, and she had just started her master's program in community health, and she found a lump. And her first doctor, who she'd gone to for years, told her she was too young. And fortunately, she had the medical knowledge and background that she instantly went to another doctor. And they did a mammogram. And she ended up having a double mastectomy at just under 26. She was just about to turn 26 when she had that done. And she opted to do all the treatments they offered her. And, she had a better outcome than Grace's friend. She's doing well. She's now going to law school. So, if she had not advocated for herself, she would have had a similar outcome because hers was very, very aggressive. When they did her biopsy, they staged her at 3. And by the time they were doing the surgery, she was already at a 4. So it was very aggressive, which is what we're seeing with younger women is it is a much more aggressive form of breast cancer in the younger women. Um, Grace gave you some numbers. I've got some. Um, and for anyone interested, I got most of my information from the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. It's brcf as in frank.org, the nationalbreastcancer.org, and komen.org. And then I also got some from the National Institute of Health and the CDC. So, yeah, in 2023, they're predicting, 1 in 8 women in the U.S. will be diagnosed in her lifetime. Right now, they're estimating 297,790 women and 2,900 men will be diagnosed with some form of invasive breast cancer.
Just
And
invasive breast cancer.
that's just invasive. And then they're saying approximately just under 56,000 new cases of non-invasive breast cancer in both men and women. And, like we've been seeing in chat, and when you talk to other people, chances are very good that you've known at least one person in your life affected by breast cancer. Currently, in the U.S. alone, there are 3.8 million breast cancer survivors. When we can catch it at the earliest and when it's localized, so it has not gone into lymph nodes, it hasn't traveled anywhere else in the body, the 5-year survival rate is 99%. That is why we stress do your monthly checks. It is so important. If you even think you feel something, go get it checked out. I mean, I myself felt something several years ago. I called my doctor. He got me right in for a mammogram. They didn't like what they saw on the mammogram. They sent me for a sonogram. They weren't real crazy with it. So my doctor set me up for a biopsy. And as soon as I was signing all my papers, I went ahead and signed that if anything came back malignant, just go ahead and take them both. I wasn't going to take any chances. I was very fortunate. Mine did come back benign. I had sclerosing adenosis, which can increase chances of breast cancer. So I was on tamoxifen for 2 years and had to increase the time between, or decrease the time between my mammograms for the first 2 years.
So you were doing chemotherapy.
I did the oral, the
Yeah.
tamoxifen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was just to decrease my chances because with that diagnosis, it increased my chances by 60%. So I didn't want to take the chance.
Yeah, that's a big
Yeah,
increase.
yeah, it is. But yeah, they did 2 large bore needle biopsies, and then they did 5 what they call a punch biopsy. And they also, I had some swelling real close to just under the armpit, but still in breast tissue. And they determined it was an enlarged lymph node. They went ahead and took it, and they said it was basically just enlarged, probably due to the inflammation from everything that was going on. But it was all localized to just one side. Um, but that is why it's important to do the checks. Um, risk of any reoccurrence depends on the type and the staging at your initial diagnosis. Um, like Grace said, it is like the most common form among U.S. women. On an average, every 2 minutes, a woman's diagnosed in the U.S. Worldwide, it's every 14 seconds. So you think 14 seconds, 2 minutes, that's nothing. And someone's getting diagnosed. Approximately 15% of women that are diagnosed, they do have a family history. A first degree relative, which is a mother, sister, or a daughter, are nearly twice as likely to develop breast cancer themselves. It's also been estimated in 2023, 30% of all new cancers, that's any form of cancer, will be breast cancer. And about 64% of all breast cancer is diagnosed while it's still at a localized stage. So we do have better outcomes now. The death rates have decreased since 1989, down to 43%, and the only numbers I could find were through 2020 for that. This is all due to better screening, better detection, increased awareness, and of course, better treatment options for us now also. Um, Women who do get regular screenings through your doctor, doing your monthly self checks, you got a 26% um, lower fatality rate. And like Grace said, although it's rare, men can get breast cancer also. In fact, there was an author, I'll have to look him up later and find out exactly who it was, that well known author that had breast cancer, a male. 2023, they've estimated 2,800 men will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer in the US. The lifetime risk of getting it as a male is 1 in 833. A lot of times, though, we find with certain cultures in certain economic areas, lower economic areas, 47% of both men and women will put off or postpone any preventative services that are available due to the cost.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that we also need to kind of work on, is getting this to where it's affordable for people without insurance, without the revenue to go and just get a mammogram. Mammograms are expensive. Now, during the month of October, a lot of places do offer low cost and sometimes even free mammograms. All you need to do is call up your doctor, get a prescription, and a lot of times they're in the mobile screenings, and you can go and have one done there. And they are much lower cost. Um, Risk factors. Average age in the US is around 62. That's why we think of it as an older woman's issue, and it's not. Half of the people who develop breast cancer are 62 years or younger. About 9% of those are younger than 45. If you're younger than 35, you do face a higher risk of recurrence or cancer in another location, such as ovarian or uterine. Um, Genetics plays a huge part in this also. So if you've had a close family member, a mom, a sister that has had breast or ovarian or uterine cancer, that puts you automatically into a higher risk group. So it's more important to be diligent and do your self checks and do your yearly mammograms. And even talk to your doctor about doing them younger because of that. A lot of doctors now are recognizing the genetic factor more, and they are more willing to do mammograms on younger women in the population now. The genetic material also can give a link as to the type and the staging of the breast cancer. Um, so we also talk a lot about localized or regional and distant. So if it's localized, it has not spread. It is staying right there, and chances are it may not spread. Regional will spread to your lymph nodes. That accounts for 86% of all breast cancers. Distant will spread to other organs, and that's around 30%. And I know these numbers seem really weird, but that's what CDC has. Um, for all of those, that only includes the invasive type of breast cancer. It doesn't include what's considered DCIS, which is ductal cancer in situ, which means it's going to stay in those duct glands. It's not going to move out of there ever. All of us have BRCA1 and 2 genes. We all have them, men and women. The problem happens is when you get a mutation in that gene, because a normal BRCA1 and 2 gene are actually tumor suppressor genes. When they work right and correctly, they will actually suppress any cells that will grow into tumors. When you get a mutation in that, it allows those cells to go rampant and start growing into tumors. Mutations are rare though, but they can happen, and they are generally inherited. So if your mother has a BRCA1 mutation, you've got a 50% chance that you're going to inherit that mutation. So if you go back to your high school, college biology, and when you talked about genetics, that's what this all comes down to. If mom has two BRCA genes, one will be with a mutation and one will be without. And it's random which one you're going to get. And then your other one comes from the father. In the US, 5 to 10% of breast cancers are related to known inherited gene mutation. So the numbers are low as far as the gene mutation causing that. We would think it would be higher, but it actually is lower. The mutation gene can also be passed to you from either parent. So the father can also have the mutation, which he would have gotten from his mother, most likely. Approximately 1 in 400 people have the BRCA1 or 2 gene mutation in the US. There are some ethnic groups that it's even higher. If you are of Jewish heritage from Eastern or Central Europe, your chances of having it have just really gone up. And I was surprised to hear that. They're actually at the most risk for breast cancers. Um, the risk is 60% for women with the mutation of a BRCA1, and also around the same for women developing breast cancer with a mutation of a BRCA2. And then it's just 13% for women in the general population. Then we also go into a triple negative, and this is where the genetics really get a little crazy. Triple negative is what we think of as like the HER. You've probably heard that on some of the TV commercials for some of the meds. We hear if you have HER, if you've been diagnosed with HER2 negative or net positive. So that's where all of that comes from. And it all has to do with estrogen receptor. If it's estrogen receptor negative, then that actually has lower chances than if it's HER2 positive. That has higher chances. Um, the HER2 actually stands for human epidermal growth factor receptor 2. And what this is it's a protein that appears on the surface of some breast cancer cells, and it creates the pathway for that cell growth and the survival of those cancer cells. So you would much rather hear that you're HER negative than you're HER positive. If you're HER negative, you don't do the hormone treatment like tamoxifen, things like that, because there's nothing for it to bind to. When they're testing for it, one thing that they test for is the proliferation rate, and that's how quickly the cells are dividing. And that is going to tell the pathologist how invasive the tumor is and how to stage it. And it's amazing how quickly they can get all of that information done. Then you also have primary breast cancer. Primary is the original tumor in that breast. Then we get secondary breast cancers. And that's usually on the opposite side, the collateral side. So that's why a lot of women, once they're diagnosed, they may opt to have a double mastectomy because it does lower that risk of a secondary tumor coming up. Invasive ductal carcinoma, IDC, it's actually one of the most common forms of breast cancer. 80% of all breast cancer originates as IDC. When it's caught early, though, the 5-year survival rate is at 99%. So it's actually one of the most treatable. Triple negative is the most aggressive form of any type of breast cancer. In 2021, there was a study shown, and I got this off, I believe it was the CDC website, that 1 in 196 women under the age of 40 were diagnosed with breast cancer. And about 9% of all new diagnoses were under 45. Again, the younger you are, the more likely it is to be a hereditary or a genetic factor. Younger women are also more likely to find it at a later stage, so the outcome is not as good. The forms of breast cancer in younger women are more aggressive because it is genetic and it can be extremely difficult to treat. So that's about all I've got for the medical. I don't want to get too deeply into the genetics. It gets really crazy.
So can you like how do you get tested? Like if you want to test if you have the genetic.
You can actually ask your doctor for the test. If you've had
Okay.
a close family member, you can ask your doctor. Like I had a paternal grandmother who died from cancer, which originated in the breast. And for years, they would say if it was on your father's side, your chances were less of getting it. But then once I had an issue, and my daughter also has um, inflammatory breast disease, so she's a little bit more risk also, and that puts her daughters more at risk. So as soon as I found my lump, that was one of the first things I told my doctor. I said, "Please test me," and I do not have the mutation.
Okay. So it's pretty easy like to just ask for it.
Yes, it is. And a
Okay.
lot of times now doctors are just doing it. When you find a lump or, even sometimes fibrous tissue or something, they may go ahead and suggest having the testing done. And we're finding more and more of the insurances now are paying for all of the genetic testing, which
That's good.
probably 5 to 10 years ago, no, it would have been out of your pocket. And
Yeah,
it's extremely expensive,
I bet it is.
but it's well worth having it. It's for me, it was peace of mind.
Yeah, exactly. And then you learn something about when you went and got yours checked.
Yeah, so it was worth it for me. I would urge anyone, if you've got a history, no matter, how many generations back. I mean, I wouldn't go more than 2 or 3 generations, or,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to the second cousin 5 times removed that had it, that you've never met, but someone said they had it. I wouldn't go that far because the bloodline's not that close. I would stick within, mother, daughter, sister, you know, mom's sister, an aunt, grandmothers. That's probably about as far as I would go, is to
Yeah,
a grandmother and an aunt.
it was my grandmother's sister that died. So my great aunt, I guess, it would like would be my mom's aunt.
Yeah,
So that's something that she should probably be looking like keeping an eye on.
yeah, definitely. It would, it never hurts talking to your doctor. It's like Grace said, we have to advocate for ourselves. No
Hmm.
one else is going to do it for us. We have to be our own advocate.
Yep, doesn't hurt to ask questions.
Right.
Now, are there any ways to lower your risk?
Um, if it's genetic, no. Otherwise, the only way to lower risk is, you know, like you would with any other form of cancer or invasive type disease, is just, healthy living,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
And, I couldn't find anything on it, and I may do some more research later and give some information to you ladies that you can put on your community page or something.
Hmm.
I actually question why we're seeing so much at younger ages now. We're seeing women late teens, early 20s developing, you know, uterine, ovarian, and breast cancers now. And then I take a look at what we're putting into our bodies.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty. I am so guilty of, popping something in the microwave. I know it's all processed. I know it's
Mhm.
not good for me. I'm not eating cleanly. We're fast food. It's easy to go grab something really quick in the drive through. I'll be out running an errand at lunch and yeah, I'll go through that drive through and come back and sit and eat at my desk. We also have more genetically modified foods. And we do know that with some forms of cancer, we are seeing most likely an incidence to some of the genetic modifications in our food supply and in our meat supplies because they're adding hormones to, the animals. They want to plump them up faster. So, like I said, I couldn't find any hard facts on that, but my gut just kind of tells me that I need to search deeper for that because I think there's possibly a link.
Carly, the CDC says risk factors that you can change include not being physically active, um, not being overweight or obese, especially after menopause. Hormones that you take can have some effect on your risk for certain breast cancers. Um, Having your first pregnancy after age 30, not breastfeeding, and not having a full term pregnancy can raise your breast cancer risk. And the one nobody wants to hear is drinking alcohol. That studies show that a woman's risk for breast cancer increases with the more alcohol she drinks.
Right.
Oh.
But nobody wants to hear
Oh.
that. Yeah. Good night,
Yeah.
Nikki. Thanks for coming.
Good night, Nikki. Good night,
Good
Juju.
night.
Thank you guys for coming.
Oh, good night, Juju. I missed that one. Sorry. That was from the CDC.
Yeah, the CDC has a lot of information out there, and their information's really easy to go through. I caution people going to the National Institute of Health because it's
Really?
bogged down. Well, it's just bogged down in really heavy terminology.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even some of the genetic stuff, I was like, this is above my pay grade. And I took a course in genetics, and I was like, this is above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Did you take a course after you found out, or was that already before?
It was before.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it maybe like inspired you to take like a course just to kind of better
No,
understand.
I had to take genetics as part of my medical training.
Okay.
I had to take genetics for my psychology degree.
Yes,
Why? Why?
I know. I've always wondered why they have that in psychology, but they do.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Hated every minute of it too.
No, it was tough. It was tough. Yeah, it was not fun.
That, but even worse with statistics.
Oh, yeah,
I understand why you have to take that one, but I'm like, I'm not going in research. Why do I have to do this?
I know. Yeah, that was
Maybe
not
you
fun
might
either.
want to one day. Who knows? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, I'll hire somebody else to do the math.
Right?
I'll hire Claire.
Yeah.
She likes math.
Yeah, Claire can do all the math for us.
Yeah.
I hate math.
So do I.
Me too. That's why I hated statistics.
Me too. I have dyscalculia, so I really have an issue with math.
Yeah.
Like the stuff like like they're teaching like now, like they're doing it different, like on how you add and subtract. Like you know how like when you subtract and it say like 6 take away 9. You have to borrow.
Oh, they
from
don't do takeaway. If you tell them borrow and take away, they look at you like you're an alien.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They don't do that anymore. They want you to
No.
do all this
They
crazy stuff.
slice and dice. Does
Yeah,
he
and it's
say
like,
that?
no.
Slice and dice?
No, I just teach it my way because I'm not doing all that. I'm just
Okay.
I can't. I was like, there's no way. This is like it's more confusing. I was like,
When
this is
I
stupid.
volunteered at the learning center, they would talk about slice and dice, and I'm like, what? What do you?
Yeah, like no, I'm
I
not
don't
slicing and dicing
understand.
nothing. I am
Yeah,
borrowing. Okay,
yeah. I would say
I'll
borrow,
keep
and they're like,
borrowing from
what
the
do you
other number.
mean? I'm like, no, look, you just do this. You put
It's
the
so
one
much
over here,
easier.
and they're like, no, you go flop, 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 slice and dice, and I'm like, I'm gonna go help him over here.
They want you to like round. They want you to like round to the nearest 10 and all that too.
Seems
Like
like it's so much harder.
it is. I'm like going. This is just so confusing. I was like, I don't even
Yeah,
want to do it. I don't want to do it.
yeah.
I've got to be the teacher. But yeah.
At any
So
rate, so Cass, would you like to go next?
for I don't really have any like stories sort like like it just that my mom, my nana's sister passed away from it, and I did have that childhood friend. Her mom had got it and like gotten it again, and then also beat it again. But then she got it back into her like spine, I think it was.
Oh wow.
And after that, it just progressed so bad that it didn't last. She didn't last long, and then
Wow.
um, but yeah, just like the checking. And I keep having to mute, sorry you guys, because the gremlin is being extra tonight because he knows it's a serious one. So, but yeah, just like the checking, like I'll admit I don't do the self testing as often as I should, and this kind of makes me just I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that was feeling on their boobs like people were telling their stories.
You
Just
should
saying do self
you
yeah.
you can get little hang tags for your shower
Yeah.
that remind you, when you're taking a shower, do your self check.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
See,
That's the
I
best
didn't know
time to
that.
do it. When
Okay.
you've got your arm up over your head, that's one of the
Yep.
best times.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. When you're scrubbing the pit and the arms up over the head, just go ahead and do
Yeah,
your
might as
check.
well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
so
if you don't know how to do it,
I'm sure there's YouTube videos.
Well, those hang tags they should tell you.
the hang tags show you how to do it. When you're at your doctor, any of your doctors, get the nurse, get the doctor to show you how to do it.
I had like one doctor, one of my OBGYNs, she would just anytime I would go in for like my checkups or anything,
But that's
she
once a
would
year.
she would just like always check too. Like
But that's once a year, and things
Yeah.
can go crazy in a
no,
year.
yeah, no, I'm just saying like that's like she was the only one that did that. No other
Yeah.
doctors do that. When I
No,
go to do physicals, they don't do the check like that, like she did.
no.
And I was like 17 at the time. And yeah, I was sad when she went to a different like office. Like she moved out of state. And I was like, dang, of course all the good ones always leave.
Right.
But yeah, but I guess you can always ask, but I don't know, maybe doctors don't feel. I usually have women doctors, so
How about
for
you, Carly?
OBGYN.
And Carly, how about you? You're up on the podium.
Oh, sorry, my little one came in. What's going on?
Oh,
Did you have anything you want to add or anything you want to say or any stories?
No, no stories because I've known like mm, I guess friends or old friends of people that had it, but the closest person in my family that had it was my grandma on my mom's side. But I was pretty young at the time, and I'm not familiar with like her journey, so I don't really have a story there. But it's like what Kim was saying earlier, how we all know somebody who's had it, and I don't know, it's just crazy to me that it's one of those that you can meet someone on the street and they'll know someone who's had it. And
yeah.
I wish there was more ways to prevent it other than, you know, like basically getting ahead of it. It's like, I don't know, it's scary that it's so easy to get with not much prevention.
It really is. And it's like Grace said, what she got from the CDC. Those are some of the best ways, but that doesn't account for the genetic factor either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something, and yeah, unless we find out that one of our, especially a female relative, has had it, then, you know, we don't think about asking a lot of times for the genetic testing. And there's other risk factors, like if you ever had um, radiation or a lot of exposure to radiation through chest X-rays as a young child, especially if you're female, you're going to be more prone to it. Um, Anyone that's ever had a female that's ever had uterine or ovarian cancer are more prone to it. But then again, you've got to look the other way. If you've had breast cancer is one of the leading causes of meningioma, which is one of the leading brain cancers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what Mousie's saying too, like, we gotta, if you have, daughters or even sons, as they get into the teenage years, best to kind of talk to them about, like, even doing their self testing.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can never start too young, in my opinion.
Yeah.
that's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the fun or for fun.
Cancer is quite the monster.
Oh, wow.
It really is.
Yeah,
It really is. Like, I'm pretty like just with breast cancer alone, like I was saying, like I'm pretty sure someone has lost some, a loved one, or knows someone not lost a loved one. Like, both my grandpas had um, had cancer. Like, one had colon, and then he had stomach cancer just like 3 years ago. I had my grandpa on my dad's side had prostate, and then had lung cancer. And last I heard, I think he's cancer free. And same with my mom's dad. But then his dad died of lung cancer. So it's like, it's out there. Like, it's a monster.
yeah. As I was looking through all of these numbers, I got to thinking in the last year alone, two women that I work with, now we work remotely from home, but I'm close to both of them. But two women I work with within 3 months of each other were diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
And when the second one was diagnosed, um, she's one of my best friends. And it really, really hit me hard when she got her diagnosis because she is at a higher risk group with her age and everything and
Hmm.
her overall health. So it did hit me hard. Um, but I was talking to our director at the time, and we got to thinking there have been, not including the two women in the past year who were diagnosed, but with just all of us in our kind of billing department that I work with, there have been five of us that have had breast biopsies in the last 10 years.
Wow.
So that accounts for almost every one of us that works in the billing department.
Wow.
That yeah. And that was just, you said, just for the breast.
Yeah, yeah, just breast.
And like, yeah, we know, like, yeah, October is, awareness month, but even when it's not October, do your self testing.
Do it every month.
Yep.
And it's
If you
like, I
find a
know,
day of the month to do it,
just
do
stick to
it
it.
that same, yeah, do it every 30 days.
Yeah, do it every, yep, every month.
Or you may decide, I'm going to do it on the third Saturday of the month. Then every month, do it on the third Saturday.
I'm too stupid to do it like that. I would have to do it like the first of the month or the last day of the month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's how I am. I, I'm bad with remembering my vitamins sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah, I am too.
I gotta make sure I take them. And then that's another thing too, is like, so because you were talking about like the hormones, and like if you're taking stuff for hormones, does that also would that include birth control too?
It's, I believe, and AC can correct me, but I believe it's mainly hormone replacement
It's,
therapy.
Okay.
yeah, it's more like hormone replacement therapy for women going through menopause, which was one
Okay.
reason, because of some family history with my paternal grandmother. When I was going through menopause, I opted not to go on HRT, or hormone replacement therapy. And fortunately, I had a doctor that supported me in that, and we did, you know, very natural supplements and things to get through the bad spots. But honestly, mine was not bad. I've told people that was some of the best time in my life. That was probably the best year of my life, was
Oh,
going through
cool.
menopause.
Really?
Yeah.
Giving me some hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was one of those. I would be in bed for like 2 days with migraines and throwing up and the back pain and leg cramps and
For when it was that time of the month.
yes, and it was
Yeah.
just horrible. It was horrible. And so it was like a few night flashes, hot flashes. Oh, this is nothing. This is nothing. And I know some women have it so bad. And I'm so sorry for anyone that has gone through it and you've had horrible experiences. I was just one of the very lucky ones.
Well, when you think of like menopause, that's when you kind of just think like, ugh, like great, like because you just hear horror stories about it. You don't really
Oh,
hear anything
yeah.
good about it.
Yeah. And, it was, for me, it was just any other day, honestly.
Well, I hope that happens to me.
Yeah.
No,
I,
me
I,
too.
I would wish that on anyone, honestly. I would.
I know the thing I'm like, 'cause I know my mom went into, was it like the pre-menopause, like I think in her 40s.
Perimenopause.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. Yeah, so like I'm like going, oh, great. Hopefully I don't get that, because
Everybody gets that.
Everyone
yeah.
does.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that time because I know she went. It was pretty bad as far as like she would go like months without anything, and then she'll go where she had a period for like a whole month.
That was probably the worst part. And that was where I was probably the most emotional.
I would be too.
I think that was where, my husband wanted to move out.
He's like,
Call me when it's over.
he's like, I'm not dealing with. I've had
Yeah.
teenagers, okay.
Yeah. He actually looked at me one day and he was like, "What is wrong with you?" I don't know.
You
I
don't
don't know
quit.
what's wrong.
Just go get me some chocolate.
Yeah.
Would you quit whipping that tail?
But, then again, mine may not have been as bad because mine went really quickly. And
And that's what I'm hoping for. I
like,
want to just
I
come
got,
and go.
yeah, I got into perimenopause at like 37.
Oh,
And before
wow.
I turned 38, I never had another menstrual cycle after that.
Wow.
I was young.
And did you have to like take any of like the hormones?
No,
She
never.
Oh, wow. I'm jealous. Hopefully I
she
get like,
covered that.
I'm I'm 3 years away from 37, so we'll see.
But that's pretty early.
It
So
is
I
very
wouldn't count on
early.
it. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
count on 37 casts. So sorry.
yeah.
I know, I
It
know.
was very early, honestly. And had they not done a lot of the testing for my hormone levels, I don't think my doctor would have believed me because I was so young. And it
Yeah.
Wow.
wasn't like surgical or, it was natural.
What
What
did
Cass,
you
do you know when your
start
mother
with?
started?
I can't remember I know it. I want to say it might have been late 30s, early 40s. I can't remember.
Because sometimes that's a indicator of when you might,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's not set in stone.
No.
I think I lean more towards being closer to like my grandma on my dad's side as far as like genetics, but which I gotta be careful for that. But she got her uterus removed when she was pretty young, so she never had a menopause. So I don't know if what time frame she went,
Same
if
for my
she had.
mom. Yeah. So I don't have any idea when she would have.
Yeah, so that's like another thing, and that's the thing I need to talk to her because it's like not clear on why she got it removed. I don't know if it had anything to do with cancer or if it was just like really bad um, cyst or anything like that. I don't know why. So I have to ask her. I keep forgetting because that's something I need to
Yeah,
keep track of.
it'd be something good to know.
Yeah.
Like, my mom had a partial hysterectomy just hours after I was born, and she was 20
Mm.
at the time.
Are
But
you
hers
the
was due to
youngest?
hemorrhaging.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they couldn't get
Uh,
her to stop hemorrhaging after I was
oh
born.
wow. Well, are you able to still have kids with a half of hysterectomy? I'm not sure how that works.
No, because all they took was the uterus, they left her ovaries.
Oh, that's what that means. Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, that's what happened with my grandma. Because she didn't want the ovaries to be taken, but
Yeah,
they took the uterus. But obviously, what's gonna happen? Where's the eggs and stuff gonna go in the uterus?
the body absorbs
Like,
them.
yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so so I don't know if I think she had to go on. I'm not sure if I know, I think that's why she didn't want the ovaries, is so she didn't have to go on like hormone replacements.
Right. Yeah, that's usually why they leave them when they're so young.
That's just like crazy. But yeah, yeah, just make sure everybody keep doing your self testing. Don't even you fish nerd, do
Yeah,
your self testing. Don't be afraid.
don't be afraid.
I don't know. Do men have the same self testing since they can't really roll and,
I don't know. I would just feel
Yeah,
like
because
just
there's still
feel.
breast tissue,
okay. It's just there's not as much
just not as
Yeah,
much.
pliability.
Right.
I never knew it was a thing for men until there was a show I was watching when one of the guys was diagnosed with it. I was like, what? That happens?
Oh yeah,
Didn't know that.
yeah. And for some reason, and I couldn't find it. I looked for it and I couldn't find it. But at some point, I thought they were linking with um, some people in different fields of athleticism with increased steroid use, with increased breast cancer in men, which would kind of make sense.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's just, we just wanted to make sure, it's early in the month, get it out there, get more awareness,
Yes,
because that's the thing. More aware, more, so like, the advocate for yourself, like what Grace and Kim were saying.
Yep.
Self testing, gonna keep saying that. We're just going to have a community post, self test.
I'm gonna put that. Did you see the TikTok? I wasn't TikTok, but the reel that I shared to you guys.
I saw it at like right before we were about, I didn't notice it until like right before we were.
You have to watch it. It's
I will.
hilarious.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna.
send it to you too, Kim, because it's just hilarious.
yeah, please.
And I unfortunately on Firefox it doesn't share audio for me,
Oh,
so
boo.
I'll put it on the community post.
Um,
As,
for the guys out there, there was
That's
a
you, fish,
Cleveland fish nerd fish. There was a
fish
Cleveland
daddy.
Browns fullback, Ernie Green, and he played for the Browns from 62 to 68. He discovered a lump in his chest in 2005, but was told not to worry by a doctor due to the rarity of male breast cancer. He got a second opinion and a mammogram, and the biopsy revealed that it was indeed cancer, and he did survive.
that's
Good.
good. That's good. See, he advocated for himself. He's like, I'm just gonna go get me a second opinion, which it doesn't. You know, I know doctors. We rely on them to know, but if you feel you're not being heard, don't be afraid to look for a second opinion.
Exactly. Second opinions can save your life.
Yes.
And if a doctor gets offended that you're going for a second opinion,
That's a
that's
him
a them
problem.
problem, not a
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
problem.
Exactly. It's they can get over it after you show them, like look what you were willing to just brush away.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so
Well,
anything else you ladies want to add before we start wrapping up?
no, I think
Um,
we. Oh,
I kind of talked to Cass about this the other night. I haven't talked to you, Grace, so I hope this is okay.
Yeah.
Um, some of you may know that I have my own YouTube channel, Always Createful. I do like abstract pouring fluid art. I have decided that October I'm going to do painting for a cause.
yay! That's
Everything's going
awesome.
everything's going to be pink themed. I'm even, for anyone that has seen me pour over a pumpkin, I'm doing a pink themed pumpkin.
I love
For
the
anyone
pumpkins.
that's interested, I will
Mousy,
do
you
a
still here?
pumpkin.
If you're here, Mousy, can you grab AC's link for
Oh,
me and post it?
I'm grabbing it.
Oh, okay.
I was going to
And for
Oh,
for anyone that would like one of the paintings, I'm gonna do it a couple of different ways. You can contact me. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram under Always Createful. I keep the name the same across every platform. You can leave a comment on the back of this stream, and the ladies can let me know. I can get in touch with you that way. Also,
mhm.
we can talk pricing. I am keeping the pricing very affordable. Very, very affordable. Because to me, this is something that's personal and it's important.
Yes.
So, if you would like to have a pink theme painting to hang or to give away to maybe a survivor that you know, I'll be happy to do one. And all of the proceeds are going to breast cancer research.
That's really nice. Good of
Awesome.
you.
Awesome.
And,
Yeah.
you know, if you have a local research or foundation in your area that you would like the money donated to, I'm
Oh,
happy to do that
awesome.
for you. Happy to do it. If you want it done in honor of someone, I'm happy to do
Thanks,
it in their
Mitzi.
name. I will even provide you with the receipt. I don't want it. I don't need it. You can use it for your own taxes then. So,
Sweet.
if you would also like to make a donation on your own and you want a painting, show me the donation. We will have already talked about a price, but you're welcome to show me your receipt of the donation. As soon as the painting is available to be shipped, I will get it shipped out to you.
That is
And
so cool.
telling you, gotta check out her channel because she does amazing work. Like I really love the last one you posted. Like I said, it looks like the cherry blossoms are like
Oh,
like
yeah.
flying in the
I
air.
love cherry blossoms.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was the
That's what it
one.
reminds
It was
me
the
of.
double waterfall. Yeah, that
Yes,
was
it was
fun.
beautiful, and that was all because your daughter made really good color suggestions.
She did do. She wanted pink and she wanted teal.
And
So
it worked out. Like I said, it looked like it was the cherry blossoms like flying in the wind or like in the
yeah,
sky, and I was like, oh wow, that looks so cool.
it just kills me though because I didn't realize that my camera had timed out, and when I went to turn it on again, I had moved my tripod just a little bit, so my camera angle was so off. I was like, "There's no way I can put that full video up." So
Oh,
that's why I just have a couple of shorts up on it.
hey, it still worked out though. Like as far as it, the shorts did good.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at it right now, and I
Are
do
you
like
giving
it.
it to her?
Um, I may. She's got a
Oh.
birthday coming up this month, so that may
October
be her
babies.
birthday present.
If you're listening, Kim's
No,
daughter.
she's not. She's not. She's not listening.
But yeah, that's really good. I'm glad that you're doing that. And again, if anyone, well, I think we could also do like
Do
a,
community tab.
yeah, do a
Post.
community post to announce
Yeah.
it, just so we can get more traffic over there. Just because it's not only her work is amazing, but it's going to a great cause.
Yeah. Um, yeah. That's the way I can give back. Honestly,
That's,
Yes.
that's the
that's
best way that I thought of that
it's
I
the
can give
best way,
back
yeah. You know, if
is
we
to
can get
do
more
that.
research, maybe we can get more more treatments.
When's
Like
Fish's birthday?
when to what?
I thought
Yeah,
they said
when is
Mouse's.
Chris's birthday?
Oh, Fish is the 18th.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
we are
Oh, the
doing a game
17th.
night.
He
Right,
said
right.
17th.
Oh, 17th. Okay.
That's my brother's.
Okay.
And my
My brother,
granddaughter's is like the 18th.
yeah, my brother's and my cousin. I'm close, but we're
Okay.
close in age. That's the 17th.
Well, before we go through your whole family tree, I have to get going.
All right.
So
Well, thank you, ladies, for
kind of gotta
doing
wrap
this
it up.
tonight. And thank you for having me on.
Oh,
anytime.
thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for joining,
Yeah.
and thank you all for coming.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys who were able to stay. And we will see you next week for Am I the Asshole?
Yay.
And yay. And we're not entirely sure what we're doing the week after that, but we'll be doing something. Oh no, that's games that week.
Yeah.
It's the week after that. We're not sure. Yeah. Might be doing
I
a
thought
birthday
we
for.
were doing roast after that.
We'll
Okay,
figure
we'll
it
do
out.
the roast. I mean, it is Halloween, but we will do the roast.
Oh yeah, we were.
So
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
we did talk about that. Anyway, I gotta go. So we will see you around. And tomorrow, what's today? Tomorrow is Juju, and Saturday is tomorrow's Juju, and we'll worry about everything after that. Alrighty.
Yeah.
So good night,
Good night.
and
Thank you.
Night.
get ready for
Bye.
your. Here it comes.
Bye.